MX-5, to me, it's a return to form. The slow car fast is absolutely alive with this car. It's bursting out in soul red and black BBS wheels, and it's absolutely stunning, but it is exceptionally capable. This car has gotten lighter, a lot lighter than previous generations, and it's damn near as close as to weight as the original NA Miata. We've got good power. I'm never feeling that I'm truly wanting for it. There may be some times where I get on a straightaway and I want to feel some grunt, and it's not there, but that's not what this car is about. It's about back roads. It's about feeling the road. It's about connecting with more than just the car, but the environment that you experience the car in. Something about the Miata that I really, really like a lot is I'm able to get in it and be super comfortable right from the get-go. It's just really confidence inspiring in certain aspects. I'm going to get to some of the reasons that I don't particularly care for too much, but you can get into it and drive it quickly and not ever be worried about any situation that you're in with this car. Now, I've driven different trim levels of the MX-5, specifically the Grand Touring. I drove that through the hills of Malibu, and it was a lot of fun, but still kind of roly-poly and not 100% connected, but that's what we kind of expect about the touring version of the car. Now we're in the Club, so you get very handsome BBS wheels, Brembo brakes, different black accents from the exterior trim package, but it's still not quite as flat in the corners that I would have expected out of the enthusiast model. Now, that's something that can be completely fixed into the aftermarket, but not with a whole lot of needs or wants with that. You'd get some springs, sway bars, and you'd be totally fine. But it's just not to my liking that this car comes straight out of the factory with just being almost a perfect little sports car. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too hard on the car, but you know what? It is the Miata. It is the one that you go to. It is the sports car that you think for slow car fast. And it's still a lot of fun, but there are some negatives about it, but it doesn't overshine how awesome that this car is. You get adjusted to it. You drive it, you feel it, you get set with how this car handles. There is a little bit of numb on-center steering, but once the car actually sets, the weight sets in the corners, it's perfectly fine. Really well damped and just comfortable. Even though it's a proper little sports car, it still is very comfortable. So maybe I'm just being a little too hard on it, but you know what? It's still a lot of fun. Now, a lot of cars that I have driven recently and with manual transmissions, this is probably one of the easiest cars I have ever driven that you can heel-toe downshift. And I cracked that one off really nicely right there, I might add. So the throttle is, I would not call it touchy, I just would call it very, very responsive. And you can properly heel toe, you can left foot, right foot. It's just super easy. This transmission is one of the best. It's just slots into gear so nicely. There's no feeling of any slop in the transmission whatsoever, and I really like that about it. The engagement points with this car are proper. It's got good seating position. All of the driver inputs are right. It's got proper pedal placement. Mazda really knows what they're doing with setting up a proper driving car, and it shows with this one. Now, I'm 6'2", 205 pounds, and I fit in it very comfortably. I remember years ago when I was considering buying a Honda S2000, and I was pretty much like, you know, the dog with the head out the window and tongue and ears flopping all over the place when I was driving an S2000. I'm just too tall for that car. And the H point is very, very low. I'm super comfortable in it, and I'm able to really fully engage and be a part of the car and feeling exactly what the rear end is doing by just sitting so low into this car. Now, I am sitting very far back. When the top is up, I'm noticing some rubbing that's going on here, but hey, that's tall people problems. Not everybody is my height. Mazda's Kodo design language is still alive with this car. It is so much more aggressive than previous generations. This is no longer the smiley face Miata. This is aggressive, purposeful, and really damn attractive. There's a litmus test that I usually use for any kind of press car that I'm driving, when I daily them, I'm in the Navy, I drive on base. So I would like to see what kind of compliment I'm getting because I'm driving into that gate most every day. And I have not gotten as many compliments in any other car besides this. I think a lot of it has to do with how just stunning the Soul Red paintwork is, but also it's just a really good looking car. I drove an RS7 Performance, nobody said anything to me. I drove a Cadillac ATS-V, and again, not a peep, but there's something about how special this car is and how good looking that it is. It really is pretty striking and a really, really good looking car. There are some polarizing things. Some may not like the headlights, some may not like the taillights, but you know what? It works well. It is a very tight and handsome package, and I like it a hell of a lot. So we are in a very beautiful, green, meadowy area east of San Diego, one of my favorite driving roads in this area. And I couldn't have thought of any other perfect car to take out here other than the Mazda MX-5. It's so much fun to drive, like pretty quickly, but also to just cruise and relax. It doesn't always need to be hair on fire with this car, even though it really is fun to do that, but you can really comfortably cruise this car in all aspects of everywhere that you want to drive. It's a lot of fun, and it's just so much, this is just one of those cars. When you realize there's always something special about small sports cars, and this is just, it doesn't stop with the Miata. There are other cars that are really a lot of fun, but you know what? If you're always wanting that one car, if you're gonna go for the daddy, you're always gonna go for the Miata. Now, I've had this car for about 6 days now, and I've put some miles on it. It's just, it just begs to be driven a lot. And I daily drove it. I've learned a lot of nuances about the car that I really do enjoy. And I have to daily a car to really fully understand everything about it. One thing that like stuck with me that I don't really drive convertibles all that much, even though we're in Southern California. I probably should drive them a lot more. But there's a Bluetooth speaker in the headrest. So if you're wanting to have a conversation with somebody on the phone, creature comforts as with the ND, what it does, that you can actually really hear somebody very clearly. Other cars offer that, but it's a interesting and fun thing that you're able to get all of these interesting creature comforts with the Miata and still sticking at 2,300 pounds. That's amazing. Now, I might ogle on about something that I've had for a week just because it's new and refreshing and all of that, but I really like just having a small sports car, and it's been very awesome that I've been able to enjoy open-top motoring in Southern California with such a dynamic and great driving car. I'm digging the Miata, and I'm digging what they've gone on with. Now, could we possibly see a Mazda Speed version in the future? That would be probably awesome. The addition of power would be welcome. There are companies out there that are shoehorning in LS3s in these things with over 500 horsepower, so that tells you how capable this chassis is and how willing people are wanting to modify. These things are perfect blank slates for anybody to have their own car, to make their own Miata. And I'm liking the stock version, I really am, and I'm thinking it's gonna be a very good platform for many, many buyers.
God damn it, Jason! I got sauce!